Hello guys, today we are going to write our first Java IP coding question. This question will come in 35 marks and always similar question will appear. Only logic portion will be different. Now let's see what is question. Create a class player with below attributes. Attribute is a data type and variable. Here some attributes are given: player ID, skill, level, points, and their data type is int, string, and so on. Above attribute is private, and write a getter, setter, and parameterized constructor in above mentioned attribute sequence as required. Means in the sequence given, you have to write a getter and setter method and parameterized constructor for the given attribute. Getter method is used to get the value and setter method is used to set the values. Why I am writing getter and setter method? Because the attribute is private. Private attribute we cannot directly access it. We have to use getter and setter method to access it. Parameterized constructor is used to initialize the variables. Now I am going to write a code for this section. If you write a program step by step, you get the output without error. Now, first of all, we made a class player. In this, we write a attribute private int player I private string skill private string levels private take points. Now we have to write a constructor, parameterized constructor for initializing the variables. Public constructor have no return type and same name as class name. Player int player ID comma string skill comma string in levels comma a point. This dot player ID is equal to player ID. This used to reference the player class variables. Means this reference this class variables, and this is the parameter what we passed in parameterized constructor, and it initializes the value of player ID in this variable. Next is this dot skill is equal to skill. Now I have write the constructor, and now I am going to write a setter and getter method. First we write a set method for player ID. Public void set player ID. And what value we have to pass? Int player ID. This dot player ID is equal to player's ID. You have to write this set method for player ID. Now further attributes are write according to this. Now I am going to write a get method for player ID. Public int, because player ID of type int. Get player ID return player ID. Sorry, it is showing error ID and it is also ID. For further, I am going to generate a setter and getter method, because to make the video short. But you have to write all the code with your own, because in exam there is no way to generate a code. Generate setter for all.
On the sky. A significant.
There is no problem if you write the first set method then get method. If you write the get method first and then set method, there is no problem. Here I made a class player and make a private attributes and write a parameterized constructor and write a setter method first, then get method for all the variables. What type of value you have written, you have to mention here, and what value you want to return, you can return like this. Buttes. I have mentioned in comment all the things, you can easily understand it. Now you have to implement two static method, find point for given skill and get player based on levels in solution class. But before that you have to take input from the user for the given 4 objects. These are the inputs you have to take from the users. Now I am going to write a main method. Public static void main args. We have to make a scanner class object for taking input from the user. S is equal to course scanner system dot in. We have to import a scanner class. Import java dot util dot scanner. Player type array player. PL is equal to new player of size 4. It is given in the question. I will show you. Before calling this static method, you may use a scanner object to read the values of 4 player object, so that I can make the array of size 4 for int I is equal to 0, I less than. What type of input I have to take? Like I can complete and paste it here so that I can understand it. Int e is equal to se dot next int. Next int is used for take integer input. The string line, next line is used to read a string type value in Java. I have take the input from the user for 4 variables: player ID, skill, level, points. But this will give error. I will show you in TCS IP coding question. In note it is mentioned that sometimes scanner does not read the new line character while invoking method like next int, next double, etc. Usually this is not an issue, but this may be visible while calling next line immediately after those methods. मीन्स अगर कभी भी आप नेक्स्ट इंट और नेक्स्ट डबल रीड किए हुए हैं, उसके बाद अगर नेक्स्ट लाइन मेथड से कोई स्ट्रिंग वैल्यू को रीड कर रहे हैं, तो जो जावा का कंपाइलर है वो उसको रीड नहीं कर पाता, ये एरर शो करता है. इसके लिए मुझे एक एक्स्ट्रा नेक्स्ट इंट यहाँ पे ऐड करना होगा, नेक्स्ट लाइन ऐड करना होगा. देन इट विल नॉट गिव द एरर. आई विल एक्सप्लेन इट in detail in another video, but here you can understand it. Whenever you read a integer value, after that you have to read a string value, then you need a mention extra next line in after that your next int. Now I have to read a parameter that are used to pass in the method, like find points for given skill method. This method will take two input parameter, array of player object and string parameter skill. This method will return sum of point attribute from the player object for the skill passed as parameter. Means जो skill pass हुआ होगा string parameter, उसके जो मतलब string match करेगी array of object में, उसका सम करके उस मतलब उस ऑब्जेक्ट का सम करके पॉइंट का रिटर्न करना है. मीन्स इंटीजर टाइप, अदरवाइज जीरो रिटर्न करना है. नाउ string input y is equal to se dot next line, and I have to write a method public static find point for the given skill. if it two parameter array of object and string parameter. You have to make a array of object pl of I is equal to new layer a comma b comma c comma d. Then we make a object of player all the inputs and store in first index of player array. We can make it skill so that it become more clear. Now is int, so that we can mention it int. It's take two parameter of player, capital P, of player type array object, and second one is string of skill type. Now I have to call it int answer is equal to find. We have to pass array of object and then is skill. Now I have to read what are the functions we have to perform. This method will take two parameter array of player object and string parameter string. We can done it. This method will return the sum of the points attribute from the player object for the skill passed as parameter. If no player with the given skill is present in the array of the player object, then the method will return 0. Means we have to run a loop for int I is equal to 0, comma I is less than player dot add length. If skill dot equals ignore case, it is a method used to compare a one value string value to other string value, and inside the method we pass a parameter that we have to compare. It will compare the one string value with the other string value. Like for given input cricket, it will compare with all the array of object whose input is cricket and add its point and return it. Like its point is 20 and here is also cricket, its point is 25. Then it add 25 plus 20 become 45, and other have baseball, football, no. So it return 45. Now it add, we have to make a count variable for this int count. Count is equal to 0. Now count is equal to of I dot get points. Then it will add all the points. After that you have to return count if the value of count is greater than 0. If value of count is greater than 0, else greater 0. This method will complete. I will explain it again. This method will take player of array object and string value and compare with the given string value with the array of object value. If the value is matched, then it add the points in the count variable and return the value of count if it's greater than 0, otherwise it return 0. Here we can print it. If greater than 0, then it will print system.out.println answer. Else system.out.println, here it is given us some message. The main method should print the point as it is if the required price is greater than 0, or it should print the given skill is not available. Means you have to write this, if the given skill is not available. Means the given skill is not available. अगर point 0 से बड़ा नहीं है तो हमें ये मैसेज प्रिंट करना होगा, otherwise we have to print the count value, answer value. Now I am going to write a second method, which one is get player based on levels. Public static. What will be the return type of this method? This method will take two string parameter level and skill and along with the array of player object. This method will return the player object. Means its return type is player. Get player based on level, and it will take two parameter player. If the input string parameter matches with the level and skill attribute of the player object and its point attribute is greater than or equal to 20, then we have to return player object, otherwise we have to return null value. So we have to run a loop for int I is equal to 0, comma I is less than dot plus if level dot equal ignore case, we have to get dot PL of I. It is an object, and what value we want? Get levels and skill dot equal PL of I dot get skills, and one more condition, PL of I dot get points greater than or equal to 20. If all these three conditions will be true, then what is the value we have to return? Here it is given the main method should print the player ID of the returned player object. So we can directly return the player ID if the given condition will be true. Means int type. Int. We can return PL of I dot get player ID. Otherwise we have to return 0. Here I am going to call int answer2 is equal to get first player dot, we have to read the value. The one is the string level is equal to se dot next line. Like now we have to pass level comma skill. If answer2 is greater than 0, then we have to print system dot println answer2, else system dot. What message we have to print? No player is available with specified levels. Now we have to run the program. We can copy the inputs and paste it here. Now we have to run a code. We can copy the input and paste it here. No, it is not give the output. Now we have to check the program again. Here we are taking the int type variable. After that we are taking the string type value. So we can add sc dot next line, because otherwise it will give error. We can paste the input. After that we can enter. It will give 45 and 102. So the correct output is 45 and 102. User will give the input cricket as a skill and intermediate as a level. For first method, it will compare the cricket skill with each of the array object. It will match with the cricket. Then it will add into the count 20. And next is again we compare it with the cricket, match it, then it add 20 plus 25 equal to 45. Football not match, baseball not match, and it will return the count value and print the output. For the second method, it will take skill plus level and compare with the given array of object, and also compare that the point will be greater than or equal to 20, then it will return the ID. It will compare the skill cricket, but it is not intermediate level, it is basic. So again it will compare with the next object cricket, and level is intermediate. It will compare with the point 25. It is greater than 20, so it return the 102. Next is football not match, baseball not match, so it written intermediate and print it. Now again we can understand whole program at once. Like first of all we have to make a player class. After that we have to make a attribute, and then we can make parameterized constructor to initialize the variables. Then we make a setter method for all the attributes. After that we make a getter method for all the attributes. Then we come on the main function, main class. We make a class solution, implement a main method. After that we make a scanner class object. So after that we make a player type array to make a array of object. In array of object we can store all these attributes at each index. Then we run a loop to take a input from the user. We take a player ID, then we take a skill, level, points. After that we pass a player in parameterized constructor and initialize all the object and store in array of object. After that we take a input parameters for the users to compare pass into the each method. Then we call the find points for given skill, and this method will take two parameter, array of object plus skill parameter. Then we can come here, it can compare the skill value with the given input array of object. If it match, then it add all the points in the count variable. After that, if the count variable is greater than 0, it will return count, otherwise it will return 0. And here we can print the value of count. If it is greater than 0, otherwise we print the message for the user, the given skill is not available. Then we call the second method. It will take three parameter, level, array of object, level and skill, and it will come here, get player based on level. It will compare all the conditions like level if it matches with the given array of object, and skill with the given array of object, and if the array of point object will greater than or equal to 20, then it will return pair of ID, otherwise it will return 0. So here we can call the method and we will print the answer if it is greater than 0, otherwise we will print the message for the user, number of player is available with specified levels. Thank you, that's all. If you have any problem, then you can comment in the comment section. We'll upload all the questions in PDF format in my GitHub. You can download it and see it.